And that's where I learned the nuts and bolts of construction. It was a family-oriented type of company, and I saw the way that the owner operated it was just a beautiful type of thing. It was a very likable, helpful individual. You felt as though you were with family. And I worked there a few years, about 3 years, and then I came back to Trinidad to see what I could contribute. At that time, this was in 1992, we Trinidad were in a recession. So there were no jobs in architecture. So instead of just sitting around twiddling my thumbs, I decided, well, let me try something. I remember doing up a handmade flyer, and I would go around my neighborhood, dropping it in people's mailboxes. Of course, I did it in the dead of night when nobody could see me doing it. But that's what I did. I said, at the time, it was Rafael Enterprises was the name of the company. And I had it registered. We specialize in architecture and construction. And I did get quite a bit of feedback from that, actually. People started calling me and asking me, they were interested in getting a floor plan done and this sort of thing. And it just continued to, develop from there. And
how old you were back then? How old you were back then? How old you were when you were putting the flyers in the people's mailboxes?
Okay, this was about 1992, so I was 32.
Okay.
32 at the time, yeah.
So up until 32, you worked for the other company?
Yes, the other company, when I graduated, I was 28 years old. I didn't start working with them until I was close to 29. Right, so I worked about 2 or 3 years with them, and then I came back to Trinidad. Mm-hmm. Right. Of course, jobs were still slow. I was getting small jobs, nothing major. So I decided. My dad actually couldn't understand why I was there. I bought myself a little bag, and I bought some little tools. So I would go around fixing people's stuff, whatever. No sort of money, nothing major. My dad could not understand. He said, why are you doing this? You're an architect, you're not supposed to be doing this. Why don't you just design a set of buildings for Trinidad? In my mind, I was like, that makes no sense. Number one, if you're going to design the buildings, at least you should have a client, and you should have a scope of works, and at least you should be getting some income for doing it. So I decided, you know what? Let me go through the newspapers and see what they have out there. I came across an ad that asked for a furniture draftsman. Okay, I thought it was interesting because I said, okay, it's not architecture, it's drafting. I know how to draw. Why not let me go and apply for this thing? So I went in, spoke, had an interview with the owner of the company. After the interview, he said to me, I'm not going to hire you for this position. I'm not going to hire you as a furniture draftsman, but I'm going to hire you to manage my company. I said, okay.
So from a little,
I didn't know anything of.
So from a little maintenance guy, you went straight up to
right,
management.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know anything about management. I said, okay, fine. So I was managing the company for a while. I didn't stay long with those people though, because I am a person who believes in ethics and in doing things to a certain standard. And I remember there was one time we went to one of the clients. This client was her husband worked in the French embassy. So this gentleman who I worked with, this furniture place, you had a lot of high-profile clients, but their work was very sloppy and they didn't really seem to care about the clients. And so there was one time we went into this person's home in the French embassy. They took a space saver, where you can have your television and stuff like that, a wooden piece of furniture. So we took it to her to install it. And they had forgotten now, in order, of course, to put her appliances on, you have to plug it into a socket. there was no room because they covered the back of the space saver and didn't create a space to plug into the appliances. They decided, the two workmen there decided to take a chisel and a hammer and started putting this thing, the space saver, and making an ugly mess. I said, listen, hold a second. If we don't have the right tools, we're going to come back. I said, don't you know the customer is always right? So the lady, she turned to me, she said, what did you say? I said, the customer is always right. She said, I've been living in this country for how many years? And you are the first person I've ever heard say that. And from then, she didn't want to deal with anybody else but me. And I left the place, and I was getting so much work from her. And then she referred me to other people. I went out basically on my own and started, making furniture. I even went so far as to design a course called Introduction to Furniture Making. And I taught it at the YMCA. And we had a great response, So from there, of course, I'm an architect. And my love was always to design buildings. I wasn't designing buildings, but I was doing something that I liked. I liked the furniture. I was making, decent money. And I still decided, let me look through the papers and see, maybe by now they might have some architectural something out there for architects. I came across an ad, the Ministry of Works and Transport, which is one of our government agencies. We're looking for a maintenance supervisor or whatever. I said, you know what? It's managerial, it's in maintenance, it's in construction. Let me apply. I applied for the position. A few months later, didn't hear anything. A few months later, I got a call, which I remember it was about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. This lady came on. She said, I'm calling from the Service Commissions Department, which is the agency you apply to get any government jobs. She said, I see you applied here to the Ministry of Works for a job as a construction supervisor. I said, yes. She said, I don't think this position is for you, However, she said, do you know that the Ministry of Works is looking for architects? I said, no, I didn't know that. She said, okay, come back in, fill out a new application for an architect, and I will submit it for you. I said, this has to be God's work, because number one, a public servant, I found what was remarkable, a public servant working after working hours took the time to go through my resume, realize my qualifications, right? And decided to call me after working hours. She probably called me from home to insist that I come in and reapply for the position that and this was back in 1996. I got the job at the Ministry of Works, and things just took off from then. I kept, of course, I ended up getting a full-time position in the Ministry of Works as an architect. So I was able to practice my profession. I also kept my private jobs, my private businesses. Of course, I never, but I had less time to spend on it. However, I continued. So I had 2 sources of income, a permanent source of income now for the government, because you're getting a monthly salary. And then my businesses, which private businesses, monies come haphazardly. Sometimes are good, some months are good, some months are not. But what having a government job, allowed me to do was then to get loans from the bank that I could use to put towards my private business. And that is how I was able that's how my private business was able to flourish. Because, one thing with when you want to start your own business, a lot of people have dreams, they want to start their own business, but many times the main feedback is the source of income. How am I going to get? I have this wonderful idea. I want to, where am I going to get the finance? You go to the bank with the plans. The bank might say, well, yeah, so it sounds great and so, but I'm sorry, we can't give you any money. So I was able to use my job with the Ministry of Works to get loans, and it just took off. I would like to say one thing. It is very important to have a relationship with your higher power, right? Your higher power will guide you. I believe that we were all put on this earth for a purpose, right? That is to add in a positive way to society, to community, to mankind, or whatever. But in order to do that, we are all blessed with our own personal gifts.
Let me give you a question. Let me give you a question on that one, because obviously I believe in the same. I've learned that lesson about 2 years ago, but actually I'm making little, notes of what you're saying. And basically what you said, I even see, how you were blessed along the way, and how there was this protective hand above you. So basically, first you found this good person when you were in your 20s, and then your father kicked your butt a little bit, go and do something, right? And you still weren't like, oh, I don't know, still kind of like not sure what to do. And then you applied for some job, and they gave you completely different job, right? And it was just another stepping stone to meet this woman that she is going to see your qualities. And after that, you again apply for some job, and they again offer you completely different job. So basically, I totally see what you mean.
Exactly.
When you say there is a higher power that kind of wants you to be on a way.
I mean, without a doubt, I can tell you that. I mean, I can tell you from personal experiences that I've had with my higher power, that will be another webinar, because to get into that, I'm never going to be able to finish this part, right? But as I was saying, your higher power, all of us are given our own unique, our own personal gifts, okay? My gift that I was given was the ability to draw. Ever since I've known myself, I was able to draw. I mean, I never took any drawing lessons. I mean, as a toddler, I used to amaze family and friends with my drawing skill. I would draw their portraits and all that. I love drawing from my imagination. Some people would do still life. They love to look at something and draw it. I used to just draw stuff out of my imagination. But I could also do the still life. I could also do the portrait. Never took a drawing lesson. It's a natural gift, and it has to come from God. I mean, there are times I may have a little problem. I'm trying to design something, and it just wouldn't come. I would say, look, I'll put it down, maybe go take a little nap or whatever. And when I get up, it comes like that. I said, this has to be from God. It's my higher power, right? And I can tell you, throughout my life, I have been blessed. I've been protected by this higher power. And it's because it's how I try to live my life. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I try to live my life a certain way. I try to help people and help others. I mean, you can't help anybody unless you help yourself first. I mean, in my businesses that I have been able to employ a lot of people who were unemployable, and have gone on to do their own things. In my furniture making, I would hire people, youths and whoever, anybody who wanted to get into something, some craft or something, and they would help me in my workshop. Some stayed, some went on their own, and that's fine. I don't have to grab on to you, and because I train you, oh, well, you got to stick with me. And no, if you want to go to it, when I wish you the best, sure. As a matter of fact, I will give you work so you can continue. I mean, we have to share. I mean, it's all about love and helping each other, and there's a common thread throughout. I mean, we all put here now. We have a choice. Our higher power gives us a choice. Okay, as you know, we can choose to take our gift and use it for good, or we could decide to choose to take it and use it for bad. But I mean, I want to when I think when you choose the good side, down the road you're gonna find that eventually you're gonna get the most highest. You're gonna get the most reward. I mean, the road would not always be smooth. I mean, there'll be bumps, there'll be ups and downs, there'll be falls. You get up, but once you stick to your higher power, you will always be able to overcome obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose,
so what was maybe the hardest thing in your life that you had to overcome?
Oh boy, there have been so many. There have been so many, but the good thing about it is that I've always overcome them. I've never, like, okay, say for instance, some people get into business because, you know, they think, oh, I'm going to make a lot of money. I can make money quickly. And let me tell you something. I am not motivated by money. And anybody who comes to me to tell me, you know, Nello, let's get into this now. We could make this. I don't want to have no part of that. Right? There is no get rich quick scheme to success. It's hard work. It's trying to live your life a certain way. You will, it's not, it may take a long time, but you will get there. Some people decide they prefer to go and do something illegal or whatever. It's not going to last. You may get instant gratification for a while. That gratification is not going to, that reward, whatever reward you think you're getting is not going to last. Eventually it will lead to your destruction. I'll say we are masters of our own destiny. Yeah? We can also be destroyers of our own destiny. It's all a matter of choice, right?
So Media Jam TT Info is asking, what was one method used to overcome hard times? So obviously you said you keep on working on things, and you said you need to be focused and stuff like that. But if you were, would you be able to put like a short method in place in a sense to answer the question, what was one method used to overcome hard times?
What was the method to overcome hard times? Okay. Believe in yourself, never give up. Always confide, always speak to your higher power. I pray every day for protection, blessings, guidance, and it comes. Okay? I mean, you have to work hard. I mean, especially when you're starting a business, you're going to be working all sorts of unusual hours. As I tell people, I used to tell people, my day starts the night before. Okay? So this is not an 8 to 4, 9 to 5 when you're just, and you have to be able to make sacrifices. Those are the There's something my father always used to say, there's the word stick-to-itiveness. So you have to have the stick-to-itiveness. You have to have the fortitude. So to stick with it. I mean, so if you're looking for instant success, don't bother to go into business. I'm telling you. It's not going to work. It's a long haul. Eventually, you will see the rewards. I'll tell you also, your personality is important. Mm-hmm. Your personality is important. You cannot have a bad personality, a negative personality. You cannot be rough with people and expect to be successful. That doesn't work. I have gotten jobs just over the phone from talking to people, nicely to people. I mean, people would call for one thing, and I would just by talking to them, they find, but you know, I also need this done. Okay, and then they refer me just because they like your personality, you know, your spirit, whatever. And it's natural. It's you know, you can't. People will. I think when you surround yourself with people who are positive, it's you know, who are naturally caring, naturally loving. It's an energy that would go through. You know, it would just keep yourself in that positive energy, in that energy of love and wanting to help someone. I mean, if you want to choose the other side, the dark side, and go into a different type of energy, I will say you'll definitely be master of your own destruction. Mm-hmm. I want to reap the rewards, and then the next thing is, listen, you see this physical body that we have here, it is temporary. So why would I want to go? Why would I want to make all the money in the world? Okay? Absolutely. And then I can't even spend it in this lifetime. I'm going to have to leave it for somebody else to spend it or whatever. I just want to make enough money to be comfortable to do what I want, to enjoy doing what I'm doing. Success is
So what is
do.
enough money to you? That's actually an interesting question. So you're a businessman and you're a man of God. So what is enough money?
What is enough money? Enough money for me is that I pay all my bills on time. I have food on my table. If I want to take a trip, which I love doing, I can't do it now since the COVID. I like to travel. I went on a cruise in 2018. I plan to go back actually in 2020. COVID hit, but when it's safe, I'm going to be doing my cruises again. And of course, and keeping my wife happy in the background. Just keeping my wife. That's my wife. Okay, Candy. Right. She's dead. Right. Okay. Right. So happy wife, happy life. Right. Happy family. You want listen, I don't want for anything. I don't ever. You can ask my wife. Sometimes if she will tell you, I don't ever worry for money. I mean, money comes. Money is always there for me, and it always comes when I need it. You know. And I have. Let's just say I am comfortable. I am not super rich. I am not. I mean, and I don't want to be super rich anyway. Now, there are certain projects I want to get into that will benefit everybody. Now, for that, it requires a lot of cash flow. I don't have a lot of capital, sorry. I may not have the capital now, but I know if I want to, I can get it. I mean, I know it will come. But the projects that I'm working on, I mean, right now, okay, I'm in the fashion industry. Right now, I'm actually designing and making my own shoes, right? I don't think anybody in the Caribbean does that.
Okay.
Right?
Cool.
Yeah. And that's just one thing. So and what I also like doing, and I think with what the COVID has done is allow us to be able to like we're interacting now. I think it gives people the opportunity to reach out and even conduct their businesses. Not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to conduct it in person. Although I like meeting people, you need to have that touch. But I have a lot of Facebook friends from all over the world, different countries. And I have already planned collaborations with them in the fashion industry, art, photography, architecture, construction, animation, everything. And we're going to be starting some projects pretty soon, right? So that is success for me. Success for me, you know what is my ultimate goal? You must have goals. My ultimate goal, as I keep telling people, is to be sitting on a beach, right? Sipping a pina colada. I pick up the telephone and say, how are things at the office? Great, okay, fine. Just call me if you have a problem. Other than that, you let it. I want the business to run itself, and I want whatever benefits I get from the business. I want it for all my employees. I want it for my family. I want it for my friends. I want everybody to benefit from what I do. And I mean, that's what it's about, you know? Why keep something to yourself? You have to share it.
Let me give you another question. What is your, let's say, everyday routine or morning routine? Or do you have any rituals, routines? Do you have something that keeps you in check?
My wife says in the background, your wife. She keeps me in check. All right.
Good woman.
Wonderful family. I really enjoy my family, and I really enjoy it. My routine, I'll tell you. Okay, I have recently retired from the public service. I retired last year, October. So I have a little bit more free time, not a little bit, I have more free time to pay to give attention to my private businesses. But I'm enjoying it because I don't have to get up at any particular hour. I can, if I want, some days, if I just don't feel like doing anything, I don't. Right? But I will tell you what my routine was while I was at the public service and having to manage my other businesses, okay? I would get up, well, you know, probably around early in the morning, well, no, first to begin with, I would not have much sleep. Okay, some people, some of us function, entrepreneurs, I would say, when I say some of us, function on less sleep than the average person. Maybe 4, 5 hours sleep, 6 hours sleep, if you're lucky. I'm not saying it's the healthiest thing, but I'm saying sometimes that's what is needed. You have to do what is necessary, especially when you're starting. So I have been functioning like that for years. I think it started when I was in university, and you have to do all these projects. You're up whole night. Your body gets used to that. When you're young, it's fine. When you're getting younger, it's not so fine, right? It starts telling on you a bit. But I sort of trained myself, I guess, to be able to function like that for a long time, up to last year.
I'm just going to stop you for a second because this is a very interesting topic. Let's speak about sleep, because I'm definitely one of those people who pressures my sleep. And, you know, when we go through hard times in our life, maybe we don't sleep so much. So then when we are finally in good times, we enjoy that we can have a nice, healthy sleep. So sleep is something very, very important to me. Sure. But obviously there are people and even those like geniuses, you know, leaders and stuff like that, they don't have basically so much time to sleep, and they're so pumped up on life. And there is even a theory that you can truly train yourself to have enough deep sleep, because deep sleep is what matters the most, apparently. And then a little bit of REM, and then the rest of the filling sleep. And basically, so long we get about 2 hours of deep sleep, we're apparently kind of okay. So do you think you kind of trained your body to be actually fully functioning, happy, keeping your hormonal balance and everything going after those 4 or 5 hours? Or did you feel that you actually deprived on sleep?
I actually trained my body to be like that. I mean, as I said, when I was back in university, it came a lot more natural. I didn't feel it in my body as much, but as I got older, I found I would, at a particular time, I'd be working these long hours, and then I would start to feel a little tired, and as though I will catch a second wind, and I will be able to continue. But what I used to do is take a lot of what they call power naps. So during the day, I'll take a little power nap. And a power nap for me is maybe a little, close my eyes for a little 15, 20 minutes. And believe, I mean, I will drop off to sleep, and I will get up refreshed, right? I used to drink a lot of coffee as well. And I still do. I'm trying to cut back on it. I mean, everything in moderation. So of course, if you drink too much coffee, you tend to be a little bit agitated. One time I had to cut down on the coffee. But anyway, yeah, so you try to do a little trick, give your body little tricks, and so do little things to keep doing what you want. Because at the end of the day, you can't lose focus of your goal. I think everybody's goal is different, right? How you achieve your goal, how you get to your goal, your journey towards getting to your goal, the ultimate goal. I think that is what. If your ultimate goal is to make tons of money, then that's fine. If your ultimate goal is to just kick back and do nothing, fine. I think success is doing what you love, right? And loving what you do and being happy with it. Yeah. But in order to do that, you have to be able to take care of yourself. You have to make a living, you have to eat. I mean, it makes no sense. You say you're living your life, you're doing what you want to do, but then you go to the street and you have to beg somebody to give you a meal, or you have to go, you know, once you're taking care of yourself, you're not depending on anybody. You can live life. You live life to the fullest. You do what you want. If you want to travel, and that's fine. So basically, this goes back to how much money you want to make. If I wanted to be a millionaire or a billionaire or a trillionaire, I believe I could do it if that was my ultimate goal. It's not my ultimate goal. I am happy. I have a very happy life, right? What I want to do is I think what is important is to leave a legacy. And it depends on what legacy you want to leave. How you want people to remember you? You want people to remember you as someone who tried their best to help everyone and you try to live a good life? Or do you want to be remembered as a gangster who was a terror and terrorized communities and all this? No, I don't think so. You know? So, yes.
So let me give you one more question, and let's speak, like you said, because what you say a lot is basically something that in my world we translate into like a high frequency or high vibration living. Basically, you know what you want, you know your dreams, you're connected to the higher power. So you are kind of keeping yourself in that beautiful vibration, and if things go wrong, you can pull out because you know where you headed, because you have a goal, and because you actually know how it feels, right? So there are obviously many people who don't have that. I can only imagine that in Trinidad, I would think that there is quite a strong religion. So I can imagine that you were already brought up in some way and it somehow resonated with you, because obviously many people grow up in religion that they don't resonate with or they don't want to be part of. So that's already pretty good if you can resonate since you're a kid with something that gives you the hope and gives you the strength. But anyways, I guess my question was, what is the source of your high vibration? Let's say you don't have enough sleep, but you can still come from a space of happiness, or maybe life isn't going too well, but you can still come from a space of hope. Obviously, God is the number one, I would think, but what would be number two? What is actually, like when I'm not doing too well or life isn't going too well for me, I still know what makes me happy. So then I start to kind of follow the happiness, or I try to align myself with the happy space in the future, and it's something for me, but it's not about me, this is about you today. So what is it that makes you happy, that keeps you going?
That's a very interesting question. Okay, I am a person, I mean, I would like to do certain stuff like meditation for one. Sorry. Yoga is what I would really like to do. Not necessarily meditation so much, but stuff that would relax me. So yoga. I know meditation is good. Some people meditate. I don't meditate, not because it's, I don't think it's a good thing. I'm not saying that, because everyone needs to find their own way of bringing themselves back from a place of negativity. Okay? Of course, there are going to be times when you're a bit down because things not really going how you planned. It's natural, you're human, right? So there are going to be times like that, right? I think you need to treat it. Health is important. As I always say, your greatest wealth is your health. Because no matter how much money you make or whatever you're not going to be able to enjoy quality of life if you're not healthy. So you have to always find ways of de-stressing, of bringing yourself back, pulling yourself back. If for some reason, there are times, even though I depend on my higher power and I pray a lot, there are times when negative forces, I can feel it. I can't pray because these forces are trying to bring you down, to keep you back. And then you have to try to find other ways of pulling back. But always remember, your number one is your higher power. But yes, I understand what you're saying. There are times when the physical self just feel, oh my God, I don't know, I'm trying to pray, it's not today, whatever. I don't ever doubt myself. I don't ever doubt there's a high. From the time I think you give up and you start to question your higher power, some people give up on it, whether it be God or whatever, they give up and they say, look, I'm trying this, I'm working so hard, I'm working myself to the bone, nothing is working for me. There can't be a God. Why does God allow this? No, I don't ever allow myself to do it. From the time you start allowing yourself negative thoughts to come into your life, then the enemy has won. And you don't want the enemy to win, right? You always want to stay focused. Talk to somebody. When the first time we spoke, Tatiana, I felt your positive energy. Just before we even had a face-to-face chat, they call and the messenger. We typed, right? We message on we texted. And just the way you text to me, I could see that positive energy. So I said, well, fine. Because I'll tell you something, there are a lot of people who invite me to join their groups. I just don't, because I don't feel that positive energy, that connection. From the time you sent me, just by the way you text, I told myself, you know, this is a good book, I don't mind joining. And then when we spoke, I was like, yes, I'm in, right? So you need to keep connected with people. It's good to have groups where people are on the same level, on the same mind. You don't necessarily have to agree with everything they do, everything they say, but you must have something in common. Even if there's 100 things each of us do individually, but there is, out of that, there's one thing or two things that we have in common that is going to have, that's a connectivity right there. So if I'm feeling down, why can I not? I can call Eric. If you don't mind, Eric, I'll say, Eric, I think I need to talk to you, boy. So, and then Eric would bounce certain things off of me. And he would say, and I would say, you know, thanks for that advice. I think so. And that's by today, you know, you're not going to go to somebody who's going to tell you, boy, you know, you're right. Stay down, you know, don't worry. Yeah, there's no God. No, you don't want that. That's even going to take you into a deeper hole, you know? So we need to surround ourselves with positive. I mean, I know some people are into crystals, and that they draw energy and stuff from that positive energy. Some people are into meditation, some people are into yoga, and all. One of the things I'm into, I say, a lot of the things I do is self-taught, right? Health and wellness, I say that's one of the things I'm doing. One of my goals is to design and build a wellness center, right? That will be here to be built here in Trinidad, where all my friends, everybody could come and enjoy what it has to offer. You know, they will have you know, yoga, meditation, whatever your thing is, it's right here. You know, that's just one of the many things on my bucket list to do, right? So I think.
Yeah, sorry. Finish your thought. Sorry, I thought you finished.
No. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, because there are some, I would like to give these next 15 minutes space to our beautiful audience. And there was one question from Media Gem again. And the question was, besides your father, has your family and friends supported you with your endeavors?
There are not many people who supported me in my endeavors. I'll tell you, because normally you find with creative people, the average person just don't understand that. Matter of fact, my father once told me, he says, you know what? Don't tell people what you're doing or you plan to do, right? Because he probably thought they would think I was crazy or something. So you have to have confidence in yourself. You have to have belief in yourself, because there will always be those who will criticize you. There will always be those who will try to pull you down, right? I must say, though, that when people in general see what you're doing and it starts being successful, they start seeing, then they will jump on board. And that's fine. Right now, my family are all on board. My daughter, actually, she is very creative. She is very creative. And a lot of the things that are TV production, stuff like that, it came from her. And I help her, we help each other in that. And I mean, there's so much. So she is creative. That's another blessing that God bestowed upon me. It led me to a family that is creative. My wife is also creative as well. And so is my son. And, you know, so the creativity is there. And the people, as I say, once they see what you're doing, they more or less they will jump on board. But in the beginning, as for anyone, especially people in the creative sector, you're not going to find a lot of support. You're not going to, because most people figure that an artist can't make any money, or that's not going to make any money. You know, why don't you do medicine, or in my case, or architecture, or law, or whatever it is, something that you know. But no, you have to believe in yourself. You can't let people pull you down.
I would maybe say also, because some people put a lot of importance to family and the way they were brought up and stuff like that. I personally believe, yes, of course, it influences us. That's how we started. Like when we were kind of a cloud of consciousness and we were forming into the being that we are. Obviously, we were formed by the family we grew in.
Yes,
but at the same time, once we are adults, we should be, I believe, we should take control of our life and become the game changers and kind of not worry too much about the support we got or didn't get. Because obviously I grew up in a communist country where nobody had anything, or most people had nothing. And yet now when the regime changed, many of us are very successful financially, emotionally, personally, relationship-wise. And obviously the support of the family wasn't that important because the choices were actually done by us. But okay, so anybody
before you leave that question, you touched on a point that I just want to emphasize, though.
Please.
What you just mentioned there about I think what you just mentioned, that would require another webinar, because it's important. Let me tell you what you said. You said that there are a lot of people who come from where they didn't get the support on the families or whatever, and they still ended up being successful. They came from a country that is true. But you see, I think what a lot of us don't realize is what happens to us in our childhood, if it's not addressed, right? It could affect us throughout our life cycle. Sometimes subconsciously, we don't know. We make decisions, we do things, some things unintentionally destructive, and it could be traced back to things that happened to us as a child. One thing I'll tell you, okay, even though I was given this gift to be able to draw, my father didn't like it, and I actually had to hide to do my drawings. I used to cut paper. I used to cut paper and make my own toys and everything. Make all sorts of things, draw things. And when I used to have to hide. And you know what? Here I am doing exactly what I am drawing and cutting paper and doing what I love and making money. I mean, that is my profession now. Could you imagine if my father was able to stamp that out? I would not have been, I may not have been an architect. So yes, what you said is quite true. There are people who go through all sorts of traumatic experiences and stuff and still come out successful. But there are some who don't, because they need help. A lot of people end up with all sorts of problems, emotional, psychological, and when it could be traced back to their childhood and how they were treated. But that's another webinar.
Oh, absolutely, and that's basically what I do.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what part of my program is, that we are going through all the limiting beliefs and blocks that most often starts in the childhood, because that's when we form our ideas about life and world. And obviously, when we reach some age, which is usually around the midlife, then we start to understand. Okay, well, these thoughts, these beliefs, they don't really work for me anymore. So let's do something about it. You're absolutely right, but at the same time, I believe what's important is to make a decision. I no longer want to be, I no longer want my childhood influence me this way. And I think that's what I basically meant, because, you know, we all have so much going on in the plus and minus. So I believe it's really about making our decisions about what we want to consider plus and what we want to consider minus, and how to find a happy middle.
Absolutely. Of course, as I say, you're masters of your own destiny, or you could be masters of your own destruction.
Absolutely.
It's a choice. It's a choice.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, who's got some questions? Who's got some question? Give it to us. Give it to us. Who's the first?
Okay. Well, from my evaluation, it sounds like you've done what you want to do and what your father wanted at the same time. By this long-term job that you just retired from in the public sector as an architect, I'm sure you made him proud.
Yes, yes.
And then still you were able to do what you wanted to do, and now you can do more of that now. Yeah. In my experience, when you're starting, when people think your idea is crazy and you're stupid and you can just get a job making decent money, and why shouldn't you be happy doing that, then you have a really good idea. And then, yeah, of course, like I've had lots of support once I get something going, because then everybody wants to jump, you know,
Exactly.
on the boat with you. It's like,
Exactly.
oh yes, let's take a ride.
Right. Oh yeah.
And I like your wellness center idea. Maybe you can get some grant money or something for it. It depends what you want out of it, you know. If your company will build it and you get an honest profit, and then provide this for the community.
Yes,
You could probably
definitely.
get grants for that. And I would just like to yield the rest of the time to other guests.
Wonderful.
So
I just put it in the chat. So if anybody has a question, I think it would be really nice to load Nello with some question, because his knowledge is obviously pretty big, as we just learned. So you need to unmute yourself in the left bottom corner, and if you're shy to talk, you can type your question in the chat, and the chat is also in the bio.
Oh, wait a minute. So that's my
Clinton, tell us.
Yes,
That's my brother. That's my brother who just logged on. Dr. David Rafael. He's a surgeon in California. So he just logged on.
Nice. Okay, Clinton, what is it? Let's bring some family issues.
So it's as I said, it could be a question or a statement, right? Just based on what Mr. Rafael spoke about, you know, you talk about hard work, right? When you work hard to be successful. But the thing is, what I got from him is he's passionate about what he does.
Thank you.
And when you're passionate about what you do, you actually never work a day in your life, because you do anything that you love.
Yes.
Right. Sure. So that's why I always say money follows talent. And because plenty people just focus on the money, but they're not focused on the talent that they bring to the table. And once you and this is what the young people, that's the problem today in the world. They're not focusing on the quality. Tiger Woods is not known for money. Tiger Woods is known for golf. Yet he's very rich. Jordan is not known for money. He's known for basketball, but he has a lot of money. So once we focus on that gifting that we have on the inside of us and express that gift to the world, that money will always follow it. And that gift will always make room for you. It make room for, it bring you before great people. It make you see nice people, visit nice people. It make you visit places all over the world. Your gift just make room for you. And this is what I'm seeing from you based on what you have been sharing with us this morning. So it sounds like you had a very successful life, very happy life. And, you know, I just want to continue to wish.
Excuse me, let me just continue. Not hard. I'm having. You say
having. I say it like if, you know,
I'm still
true.
Here.
I stand corrected. So you're having a very happy life, and that's all what we could ask for, you know, in life. And few people get to really realize. Many people have potential, but most people have not realized that potential that they have in their life, which you were able to do and to express and to accomplish. So, you know, hats off to you.
Thank you very much for that.
Clayton, that was absolutely amazing. That was a very, very valuable input. And maybe let me give you a question. What is your passion? What do you do? What drives you crazy in a good way?
Well, like Miss.
This is not
Mr. Rafael. No, it's like Mr. Rafael. I'm you know, always loved finances, always loved dealing with numbers. So I started off doing accounting, and I started my own business, registered a company as well. And people would say I work hard, but I actually don't feel like I work a day in my life. You know, and you know, it has carried me all over the world. I've visited places that I probably would never, when I think back of where I came from to where I am now, it's really amazing. And like Mr. Rafael said, I came from a family who were laborers. So people who did things like masonry, carpentry, plumbing, those type of professions. And here I was an anomaly where I would be sitting studying a book. So I look really odd to them. They would say, put on that book and come and do some real work, right? and it so happened that I turned out to be the one that everyone in the family turned to now, because I came back and controlled everything that was owned by the family. So sometimes you really have to follow that inner call that you have within yourself, follow that gifting. No one, you could, as I say, you could make the child, but you cannot make the gifting that God has put within that child. All you have to do is help that child to express that gift. Sometimes the gift is in the same profession that you as a parent had, and many times it is not. So, and you just have to appreciate everyone for who they are and the special gift that they bring to the world. You know, so yeah. So that, yeah.
One more question for you, Clinton. What is your with the higher power?
Oh, well, I believe in, I'm more direct than Mr. Rafael. I believe in Jesus Christ. You know, I believe he is the savior of the world. But more than that, you know, what it has done for me is it has brought a level of stability in my life where I you know, I feel so peaceful with the world. I feel so peaceful with myself. And it has, you know, it has opened up so much doors of opportunity for me that I find that favor has followed my life. You know, many times people work hard but they accomplish nothing. But I haven't been able to work and see the fruits of my labor. And I'm very thankful for that. I don't take it for granted. And to whom much is given, much is required. So as much as possible, I try to pass that lesson for the people connected to me. I try to pass that lesson on to them as well, so that they could, as I say, taste a little piece of heaven on earth.
That's really, really nice. And now I think if Candice is okay, I would like to give a question to Candice, because she's a legit wife of this wonderful man.
Candice, are you on? I want to give you a question.
Only if she feels comfortable.
I don't know why I'm on camera, you know.
Tatiana, Tatiana, let me give you a little advice first before you ask her. Before you ask her the question, don't call her Candice, call her Candy. She likes to be called Candy, so call her Candy.
We don't often have the privilege to also have the wives or husbands of our guests, which would be very shame not to use it today. So Candy, tell us something about living with. Is your first name Nello or Rafael? Maybe I'm just calling you.
Nello.
Oh, a lot of people, you know.
I'm sorry. What is your first
name? Is Nello. Nello is the first name. Rafael is the surname.
So Candy, how is life with Nello? What is the thing that you really, really like, and what is the thing that could be different?
If you ask me, let me see. Did you ask me what it is I really like and what it is I don't like? I'm not hearing you well.
What could be different, you know, like.
Is that what you asked, Nello?
What you like about him?
What I like about him and what I don't like about him. Basically, it's the same thing. What I love about him is how he pays close attention to detail about everything. That's what I love about him. And then, well, of course, he's kind and generous and everything like that. But basically, what I love about him is his attention to detail. But then what annoys me about him is because his attention to detail takes a toll on his time management, because everything must be precise. So I'm a retired teacher, and very rarely I'll ask for his advice, like if we're drawing out 3D shapes or something. And I would do things quickly because I work with 9 and 8-year-olds, and you can't take too long or else you'll lose their attention. But if Nello is drawing out something for me, he takes so long to be precise. while I know my class will be going nuts if they're waiting on me to do that, you know, but then when he does it and when I present it, it's like a model that could go on show. And if I'm putting the 3D shape together for the class, it goes in exact, everything fits like if it was bought in a store. Whereas if I had done it quickly, something would be overlapping or whatever. And I would say, okay, let's cut it off, you know, but if Nello puts it up for me, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So what I love about him is his attention to detail, and what annoys me is how long he takes when he's doing it. But basically that's it.
Oh, that's really, really nice. And you have two children together, right?
I'm not hearing you well at all. Can somebody tell me?
How many children do you have? Two?
Children do you have together?
In class?
No, how many together? No, together. Okay. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Tatiana?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Well, maybe I could.
Oh, no.
I don't think she's not hearing. Can you hear me?
No, I'm not hearing you as the door is closed.
Okay, we have well, actually,
It's complicated.
no, it's not complicated at all. It's quite simple. They're my stepchildren, two stepchildren, so they're Candy's biological children, but they are my children. I consider them my children as well.
Yeah.
A boy and a girl, well, a man and I should say a man and a woman now because they are adults. And I mean, they're my children. I consider them mine.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, basically, the reason why I'm asking if you can
Yes.
pass that question on Candy.
Candy, they want to
So-
pass it on to you.
Yeah, so my question was actually, because seems like Nello was quite busy throughout his life with different things. So how was he as a father? And that's my last question on you. So how was Nello as a busy father and provider?
Too much of a generous father he is. That's what I would say. Too generous, way more generous than I am. Way more sympathetic than I am. Very much hands-on, and he's way more, even though I'm a teacher and I'm patient, you know, you like a shoemaker don't have like a shoemaker don't have shoes, children wouldn't have shoes. I would be very tolerant and lovely at school, and then when I come home, like all my patience is, you know, it's just gone. So Nello would be the one who would be very patient with, especially my daughter, you know, and he would sit and listen to all of her ideas because she's very creative. And sometimes I'm at home and she's there babbling on about this dream and this and this. And in my mind it's going like, blah, 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 blah. But Nello is the one who would be sitting down and just listening to her and really answering her. And they have that connection. Whereas I do, but I'm not as creative as they are. I just am not there.
That's beautiful. Candy, thank you very much for your input. And I'm very, very happy that we connected, Nello, because it's really nice to meet somebody who has the values, probably in my world, in my perception, on exactly the spot they probably should be. And I wish more of us would have similar values. And you know, maybe by sharing lives like yours, we can kind of get into understanding that money follows the passions, like Clinton said, and the good people come into life, and the good wives and the good kids come into the life. So yeah, when it comes to me, absolutely wonderful. Is there anybody who would like to give one last question to Nello? All right, seems like all the question has been answered. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time today.
Yes,
it was my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
It was absolute pleasure. Thanks a lot. And I hope to meet you soon in real life.
I hope so too. I hope so too.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And everybody have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.